Welcome to the Board Roles and Responsibilities webinar on active participation presented by the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, United Way of Central New Mexico. Special thanks to Daniels Fund for sponsoring this webinar. I am Tzipora Nefesh, Program Coordinator with the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, and I am going to discuss how active participation is the foundation for all your other board responsibilities and activities. You might be asking yourself, why are boards necessary? The answer is very simple, because the law requires it. According to the New Mexico Attorney General and the courts, the ultimate responsibility for an organization rests with the board. And all that means is that you are expected to act as a prudent person would. In other words, exercise reasonable judgment. Boards need leaders who have a variety of skill sets and attributes. Amongst those are strategic thinkers, people who can take a long-range view, see the big picture, and set a goal for where the organization needs to go and help figure out how to get there. Boards also need implementers, people who can take that big picture goal and break it down into steps and monitor that the organization is implementing and meeting those steps towards its goal. Another role for boards is storytellers. Everybody needs to be able to go out and talk about the organization in a positive way and tell about the good work that your organization is doing. Fundraising is another role or responsibility of board members, and some of you will shrink from that, but boards do need to help ensure that there are adequate resources for the organization to carry out its mission. And besides making a financial contribution, this means using your contacts and connections to give the organization entree to the business community. Financial monitors. You know, since Sarbanes-Oxley, life has changed, and the IRS is now closely looking at the activities of nonprofit organizations. And where once the 990 was a very short, one-page, double-sided, it can now be up to 60 pages double-sided. So the IRS wants more information, much more detailed information about the activities of your organization. So the board needs to be more active as a financial monitor and be aware of all of the activities of its organization. Boards need leaders who are evaluators, people who are able to assess and evaluate the executive director and look at the effectiveness of the programs and activities of the organization, and also assess the board itself and see how effective it is. And everyone on the board should be a questioner, asking meaningful questions so that they fully understand the implications of their actions or decisions. And by exercising your role as a questioner, you are fulfilling that expectation of being a prudent person, and it will help lead to reasonable judgment. Boards make a difference in the community and to the organization they serve. And you make a difference by serving on a board. You help to ensure its sustainability, and you help the organization to carry out and fulfill its mission. And this is done in a variety of ways. First of all, by ensuring that there are adequate resources so that the organization can function and carry out its programs. Another way the board does this is by ensuring credibility of the organization, and that includes providing accountability and transparency for the organization and its activities and bookkeeping. The third thing is oversight, and that doesn't mean getting down into the day-to-day activities of the organization, but providing that big picture oversight at the macro level of the activities of the organization, its programs, its fundraising, its budgeting. So oversight is another way that board members ensure the sustainability of the organization. Then there's protection of assets. And if you take a broad view of assets beyond financial, so it includes property and it includes the people involved in an organization, and that means the board, the staff, the clients, the volunteers, and the donors. And the board ensures protection of all of those stakeholders in a variety of ways. One is by creating policies such as confidentiality or personnel policies that protect those constituents. Another is by providing adequate insurance. And a third way is by making sure that the organization is in compliance with all regulatory agencies, and that might include OSHA and HIPAA as some examples. The fourth piece of this puzzle is planning. So while the staff is responsible for the day-to-day running of the organization and planning what's happening next week or next month, it's the board's responsibility to look long-term. Where should the organization be a year from now, or where should it be 2 years from now? And that brings us to the final piece, which is mission relevancy. As the board is planning long-term, it needs to take a step back and see if that mission statement still reflects what the organization is doing and if it's still relevant to the current times we're in. Things change, and that's okay, but the mission statement needs to keep pace with that. So it's good to review every now and then. There are expectations of board members. Beyond giving of your time, it's expected that you will make a financial contribution and that you will bring your talent and skills and expertise to bear on your activities with the organization, that you will use your community connections to further the mission, and also, and most of all, that you will bring your passion to the mission and the organization. Board members have a number of attributes. They have skills and expertise, they have contacts, they utilize their stewardship, and again, that passion and commitment. And when you have all of those elements on a board, or all of those attributes, you have ethical management, and that is what all boards are striving for. For additional resources, please see the New Mexico Guide for Board Members, and that is on the New Mexico Attorney General's website. And then we also have board development resources on the Center for Nonprofit Excellence website. Thank you very much.